checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go.
Let's get this show on the road. I say let's get this show on the road, guys. What do you think? Should we do it here? I think we're ready. Let's go. We're ready to go right now. Let's do it here. My name's Ron Tyler. I'm the president of the Emergency Management Associates. We've been doing this show for nearly 7 years now. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, guys. Welcome to the show, guys. We have a lot of things to talk about, okay? In the past few weeks, we've been talking about politics, about idiot people that are storming through neighborhoods using whistles, going up and harassing federal police officers, including Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers, the FBI, and other officers that are harassing them. On Sunday, we told you yesterday, they raided a church. Don Lemon, who used to be with CNN, who got fired from CNN, was leading the charge into the church. These people are going to be arrested. There are indictments forthcoming almost immediately, possibly as late as tonight, but they are coming. Don Lemon and the protesters that broke into that Baptist church in Minneapolis are going to go to jail. They're going to go to jail, I promise you that. Okay? They're coming. Arrests are forthcoming. Promise you. It's not going to continue. What has been going on in Minneapolis is not going to continue at all. Second, in regards to that same thing, guess what? The United States military has arrived in Minneapolis. The United States military has arrived in Minneapolis to protect our immigrations, customs enforcement, border patrol, FBI, and other federal agencies is the DEA and the ATF. They're all there. Minneapolis residents have been goaded and told to proceed with whatever they want to do because the politicians have said, do it. It's okay. It's okay. The politicians kept calling it peaceful protest. It has not been peaceful protest at all. None of it has been peaceful at all. These people have been harassing law enforcement. It doesn't matter whether they're state, local, or federal law enforcement, they've been harassing law enforcement, and that in and of itself is against the law. These people are going to face the law. It's over. It's done with. Pam Bondi said because of what happened on Sunday with that church, these people are going to face charges. It's coming. Count on it. It is coming. I guarantee it. It is coming. Okay? Second. Now, guys, this is also important here. I've done a lot of digging here. Tons and tons of digging here. Today, I've looked at earthquakes in Southern California. Guess what? Caltech and USGS took these earthquakes, seismograms, the computer readouts from the seismograph, and they've altered them. They have altered them. Look at this date today. Today is January 20th. What does it say here? It says January 14th. Guess what? They've taken the current dates down. They've taken the current dates down, guys. They're not showing them. I refreshed and refreshed and refreshed the page several times in the last 3 or 4 hours. The dates have not changed. They're not putting up current data. They're not putting up current data, guys. Earthquakes are happening. The United States Geological Survey and the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, doesn't want anybody to know what's going on. They're altering the data. Altering the data. They don't want anybody to know what's happening. I've told you this before. I keep showing you this. It's official. They don't want us to actually see what is going on. Why am I saying this? It's simple. Very simple. Yesterday evening, we had a 5.0 earthquake. We had a 5.0 earthquake southeast of Riverside, California, on the San Andreas Fault. Just on the eastern side of the San Andreas Fault, still on the San Andreas Fault. In this case, this was an ancillary fault connected to the San Andreas Fault. Look at all these aftershocks. Look at all these brown and red aftershocks. Earlier this morning, it was alleged that there were over 130 aftershocks. Guys, I'm telling you, there are now over 300 aftershocks. 300 aftershocks and counting. That's huge. That's very huge. Now, let me bring up another page that I forgot to bring up before I came on the air. You're going to want to see this as well. Okay? This is important. This is very important. Hold on a second. Tried to bring up a page that I didn't want to do, but I got it now. Okay? The USGS keeps putting out bad information all the time. Literally all the cotton picking time. They say one thing and they do another. I've told you why it happens. Okay? Again, the politicians want to remain in power. They want to remain in power. They're telling the United States Geological Survey, don't tell the truth. Don't put up actual information, because if the public finds out, they're going to move and want to leave this area. They want to remain in power. If the people move, the politicians are going to be out of work. The politicians will be out of work. Well, guess what? Things are happening. things are happening. Now look at this here, okay? This is the backside seismologist study page from the earthquake that hit near Indios, California last night. Indio, California last night. Says a 4.9, guys. A 4.9. Let me enlarge this so you can see what it really says. Okay? Up at the top it says it's a 4.9 earthquake. Let's scroll down here. Scroll down here. Look at magnitudes here. It says 4.9 with 10 stations reporting. That's a joke. This is an utter joke, guys. There have never been just 10 stations reporting in this area. There are hundreds of stations reporting earthquakes here. Hundreds of them. Look at the next one. It says 5.04 magnitude. 5.04 magnitude. It also says they have 314 stations reporting. Actually, 374 stations reporting, I'm sorry. 374 stations reporting. That's a lot more than 10. But they tried to convince us it was a 4.9 earthquake. It was not. Now they're showing a 5.04. 5.04. Now, look at the column that says magnitudes. Magnitudes. On the left-hand side, it shows the seismographs that are reporting this earthquake. They're showing the seismographs that are reporting this earthquake. Look at the top entry here under magnitudes. 5.29, 5.3 earthquake. Right off the bat. Right off the cotton picking bat. The second entry is a 5.10. The next one is a 5.26. Yes, the next one is a 4.67. The next one after that is a 5.12. 5.42. Do you see what I'm saying? 5.42 here. The next one is a 5.19. Then we have another 4.93, 5.21, 5.34, 5.02, 5.21, 5.14, 5.06, 5.51. 5.51. Have I made my point clear here yet? The earthquake that they said was a 4.9 was not a 4.9 at all. What I'm saying now is this was a 5.3 to 5.4 earthquake. A 5.3 to a 5.4 earthquake on the eastern side of the San Andreas Fault. What have we said about the San Andreas Fault, guys? What have we said about the San Andreas Fault? It is locked and loaded, isn't it? It's completely locked and loaded. This is no joke. This is not a joke at all. Not at all. It goes a lot further than this. Let me take down this slide here. Let's go to the USGS map here. I want to show the fault in particular. I want to show you exactly what we're seeing here, what we need to look at. I'm going to take down a webcam now. Let's take a look at the map. Okay. Yes, we're showing the Kamchatka Peninsula. There are earthquakes. We're going to go back and analyze earthquakes around the world in just a few minutes. But I want to show you what is actually going on in Southern California. This is important. Then we'll go to the Pacific Northwest. Then we'll go to the world and show you what's going on here. Okay? Let's go over here to the San Andreas Fault here. Look at this. This is just east of the fault line. This is just east of the fault line. Okay? On an ancillary fault connected to the San Andreas. Okay? Why is this important? Last night's 5.0, 5.3, 5.4 earthquake did not relieve any pressure on the San Andreas Fault. This earthquake did not relieve any pressure on the San Andreas Fault at all. I want to make that clear. We need to understand what's actually going on here. Okay? We've already said that this fault is capable of a 7.5 to 8.0 earthquake. This fault in this location, east of Los Angeles, north of San Diego County, north of Imperial County, is capable of a 7.5 to 8.0 earthquake here. Last night's earthquake and all the other aftershocks have not relieved any of the pressure here, which means we could still see a very major earthquake here in the next day or so, or the next week or so. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. This earthquake that happened last night did not relieve any pressure on the fault. This is a wake-up call. I want to make sure everybody's aware of it. Last night's large earthquake here. Yes, USGS keeps calling their BS. Last year they changed the wording how they're showing these earthquakes. 4.0 before last year was a moderate earthquake. 4.0, 4.9 were moderate earthquakes. In my opinion, they still are. 5.0 to 5.9 are now called moderate. There is nothing moderate about a large earthquake. There is nothing moderate about a 5.0 to 5.9 earthquake. They are large, destructive earthquakes. I want to make this point perfectly clear. These earthquakes are not moderate earthquakes. They are large, destructive earthquakes. There was some damage from this quake here in Indio, California, and in surrounding communities. This earthquake was felt in Los Angeles. This earthquake was felt down in San Diego County. This earthquake was felt out in the desert, all the way to where? Las Vegas. All the way out to Phoenix, Tucson area. All the way down into Mexico. This earthquake was by far a shallow quake, 3 miles deep. 3 frickin' miles deep, guys. 3 frickin' miles deep. Shallow quake. What do we know about shallow quakes, guys? Can anybody tell me what we know about shallow earthquakes? Shallow earthquakes can be felt over a longer distance than deep earthquakes. Shallow earthquakes are also more destructive earthquakes than the deep earthquakes are. What does this mean for us? Guys, this was a shallow 5.3 to 5.4 earthquake. By all standards, regardless of what USGS says it was, this earthquake was a deep quake. Shallow quake. Felt all around Southern California. All around Southern California. What do I need to make any clearer here? What do I need to make any clearer here? What does this mean for all of us? All of our families that live in this area, all of our families that live in Southern California. This 5.0, 5.3, 5.4 earthquake that hit last night was felt over a large area. This is saying something, guys. The coming 7.5, 8.0 earthquake is going to be a shallow earthquake here. It's not going to be a deep earthquake. It's going to be a shallow earthquake. This earthquake is going to cause massive damage in this area throughout Southern California. Throughout Southern California, guys. I'm not kidding now. Read my lips. Read my lips, guys. Be wary of what's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I do not know when the major earthquake is going to happen, but it will happen. That I promise you. It's going to happen. What do any and all of us need to be doing? We need to prepare ourselves and our families. We need to prepare our homes, strengthen our homes, reinforce our fireplaces if we have masonry there, reinforce our brick walls around our homes. If you have brick on the outside of your homes, reinforce it, make it stronger. If your home was built in the 1950s or 60s, make sure you have an environmental agency come out and take a look at it. Have a structural engineer come out and take a look at your house. See if it still is earthquake proof at all, if at all. If not, you need to have some analyst come out and take a look at it to see what you need to do to strengthen that house. Because you're living in it. That house is a fortress. That house is a castle for each one of us. For your family. We need to make sure we reinforce our homes. Make sure they're strengthened. Make sure our homes are strengthened. Okay? Otherwise, what's going to happen? Can you even imagine what's going to happen here? I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. It's literally when. We don't know when it's going to happen, but it's when. It's not if, it's when. Yesterday's earthquake was a warning. Nothing more than a warning. Okay? Watch my lips. Read my lips. Prepare yourselves now. You may not have another chance. I'm not saying it's going to happen tonight, but it could. It could happen tomorrow. We've been saying for a very long time now, a very, very long time, that this fault was going to give up. That this fault was going to give up a huge quake. Now we've gotten to the point we've had a large earthquake with some damage. What is holding us back from making sure we're going to be safe during an earthquake? And when I was in the Northridge area in 1994, after the Northridge earthquake hit, that was a 6.0, 5.9, 6.0. Very bad earthquake. A lot of damage. That earthquake pancaked houses. That earthquake pancaked homes, apartments, businesses, pancaked them, leveled them to the ground. Some apartment complexes were built over the garage area or the carport area where the people parked their cars. When that earthquake hit, the apartment complex pancaked on top of the cars. Pancaked on top of the cars. Guys, what are you going to do? I'm asking you right now, what are you going to do? We have a lot of our EMA family members that live in this area, all over Southern California, from northern Los Angeles to the border, San Diego and the Imperial County. Again, I'm going to tell you, we got a wake-up call last night, 7:20 p.m. last night, Pacific time. What am I asking you to do right now? Right now, immediately right now. Make sure your home is safe. Do whatever you need to do to protect your family. Do whatever you need to do to protect your family. Yes, my friends, we have our friend Juanito, my brother over in El Centro. Every day in El Centro, they have anywhere from 18 to 30 earthquakes. 18 to 30, 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes every day. Juanito said on this channel, he said in the chat that he and his family feel those quakes. That's what happened today as well. Those earthquakes, no matter what the USGS or Caltech says, those earthquakes still happen whether or not they put them on the earthquake map or not, which they did not. Presently, Caltech and USGS did not put up any current data at all. In fact, they erased it. They erased current data dating back to January 14th. 6 days. Why? After this earthquake last night, they don't want anybody to see what is actually going on. It wasn't just out here in Indio, California. All over Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Imperial Valley felt those earthquakes. And there were other earthquakes as well. Guaranteed. Cotton picking tea, guys. Why am I emphasizing this so much? People's lives are in danger here. You see these red earthquake circles here? Those are current quakes that just happened. They're current aftershocks that continue to happen here. These aftershocks will continue for weeks, maybe months afterwards. Fact. It's not just this area, guys. It's just not Indio, California. The entire San Andreas Fault is in question here. The entire San Andreas Fault is in question here. Okay? There was over 7,000 people that felt this quake. There was over 7,000 people that felt this earthquake. I'm not joking here. I'm not joking. Southern California's high level of seismic activity is a result of tectonic plate motion. Tectonic plate motion. The Pacific plate that is on the western side of the San Andreas Fault is moving. It is subducting under the continental plate. It is subducting under the North American plate, just like this. It's moving. It's moving. Several centimeters a day, it's moving. It's stuck. It's locked and loaded. Now, again, I'm going to ask, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? The main plate boundary is the San Andreas Fault that stretches some 1,200 kilometers, 745 miles from the Salton Sea in the south, and even down into Mexico, to Cape Mendocino at the north, where it intersects with the Triple Junction. The Cascaded Subduction Zone and the Gorda Escarpment. the Triple Junction. The southern San Andreas Fault crosses through the largest mountains in Southern California and runs near communities up to the north from Parkfield, California, from San Francisco down to Parkfield, California, earthquake capital of California, earthquake capital of the world. Fraser Park, where the San Andreas Fault connects with the Garlock Fault. Palmdale, California, out in the desert east of Los Angeles. Wrightwood, California. San Bernardino to the east of LA. Banning, Indio, California, where this earthquake hit last night. The right lateral strike slip fault moves at different rates on its trace. The San Andreas Plate boundary. Okay? Near Parkfield, California, it moves 1 1/4 inches a year. That's why Parkfield, California is not just earthquake capital of California, but the earthquake capital of the world. The San Andreas Fault moves 1.14 inches. 1.24 inches a year. To the south down here where this earthquake hit, moves 0.7 of an inch a year. That's still a lot of movement. The San Andreas Fault can generate the region's largest magnitude earthquakes up to 8.2. The San Andreas Fault could generate up to an 8.2 earthquake. I'm telling you guys, that's big. That's huge. That's huge, guys. I'm not kidding you at all. That's huge. Okay? The most recent big one on this fault in Southern California was a 7.9. Fort Tejon, Tejon earthquake that happened in 1857. That was the most strongly felt earthquake throughout LA. A 7.9 earthquake just east of LA in what they call Fort Tejon, Tejon. Felt all over Los Angeles County. Okay? It can happen again. And it won't, more likely will very soon. What do you think, guys? What do you think is going to happen here? I want you to be prepared. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I know it's going to happen. We're here to make sure it doesn't. We are here to make sure it doesn't happen. I have a lot more to say about it. We're going to talk about it here, today, right now. The 4.9, 5.3, 5.4 earthquake here last night occurred within the complex fault system of the Coachella Valley, near the main San Andreas Fault and its related strands, related earthquake faults that connect to it. This earthquake hit on what they call the Indio Hills Fault, in a very seismically active zone known for frequent adjustments. Not directly on one single fault, but in a network. The location was the epicenter in Indio, California, Indio Hills. Okay, roughly 20 kilometers northeast of Indio, California. This region is where the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate interact with the San Andreas Fault. That same system dominating this area, but also many smaller parallel faults in the Eastern California Shear Zone, what they call the Eastern California Shear Zone. Now, while close to the main San Andreas Fault, this event was part of an earthquake swarm in Indio Hills, a complex area with multiple fault segments. In essence, it was part of the overall San Andreas Fault's activity, part of the overall San Andreas Fault Zone activity, but specifically within the active Indio Hills region, where different fault segments are interconnected. Okay? We are going to see more movement. We are going to see more movement here, guys. I want to make sure everybody understands this. This is important. I don't want to scare anybody, but I want to make sure that everybody understands, because this may save your life. The information we're seeing here tonight is going to save your life. Please pay attention. Please, please pay attention. Okay? As you can see, we have earthquakes all over North San Diego County, Eastern San Diego County, over into Los Angeles here. But they're not showing all the activity at all in Los Angeles. They would have us believe that nothing's going on. But that belief is false. It's false. They're also hardly showing anything going on at all here in the Imperial County. That's also false. Yeah. 4.6 Owens fracture zone region in the Indian Ocean. 4.6 moderate quake there. Just happened. Now, before I leave California, I want to show you this. This is over in Northern California off the coast. Okay? This is where I told you the San Andreas Fault starts up here off the Mendocino Ridge. Off the Mendocino Ridge here. Okay? On the San Andreas Fault today, right here, we have a 2.3 earthquake. 2.3 earthquake. Further off the coast here, off the Gorda Escarpment, and just east of the Gorda Ridge here. This is a 2.7 earthquake. 2.7 earthquake, 152 miles west of Ferndale, California, Northern California. Another earthquake just north there to the east, just west of the Cascadia Subduction Zone. The Cascadia Subduction Zone that runs all the way up to Haida Gwaii in British Columbia, Canada. This is a 3.2 small earthquake. 3.2 small earthquake. More importantly, over here on the Blanco Fracture Zone, off the coast of Bandon, Oregon. Off the coast of Bandon, Oregon. In the same location where we had a 6.0 earthquake here last week. A 6.0 very strong earthquake hit here last week. This is a 3.4 small quake here on the Blanco Fracture Zone. 178 miles west of Bandon, Oregon. Earthquakes are still hitting here. I want to make that point perfectly clear. Earthquakes are still hitting here in the Cascadia Subduction Zone region. Don't forget what's happening here. Please don't forget what's happening here in the Cascadia region. You need to be fully aware of what's happening here. Just because the United States Geological Survey, their BS, says there's nothing happening, they're not showing anything, doesn't mean it's not happening. It is. They only show us earthquakes when they feel they have to. Remember that. There are earthquakes in this region no matter what they say, whether they show them or not. Hundreds, if not thousands, of earthquakes are hitting here today. Up and down the coast of Canada, Washington, and Oregon here. Thousands of earthquakes along the coastline, inland as well. Hundreds of earthquakes over here in the Puget Sound region, north up here to Friday Harbor, all the way down here to the south here, near Olympia, Washington, earthquakes. But they show it just one. One lousy tremor, 1.2 tremor here, near Clinton, Washington. They show us one earthquake southeast of Olympia, near, actually it's a 1.1 tremor, 7 miles southwest of Mount Rainier. 7 miles southwest of Mount Rainier. Isn't it interesting here? Notice Mount Rainier here, guys. Notice Mount Rainier here. They're not showing one earthquake here at the volcano. But there are at least 100 earthquakes hitting here on the volcano itself. 100 earthquakes. And they're not showing one of them, not one. That's pretty darn sad. Southeast of that 1.1 tremor here, this is 0.2 microquake. 6 miles south of Morganton, Washington. Interesting. It is only 2 or 3 miles northwest of Mount St. Helens, where they're also not showing any earthquakes at all. To the east there, Mount Adams not showing one earthquake, not one. There are earthquakes here as well. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Oregon at all, not one. There are volcanoes here. Volcanoes have earthquakes here all the time, caused by magma welling up inside the volcano. They're not showing anything here. There are earthquakes all over Washington, Oregon that have nothing to do with magma either. Earthquakes that are related to the Cascadia subduction zone quake. And yet the agency wants us to believe that nothing's going on. Everything's quiet. Everything's copacetic. Don't worry about it. It won't affect you. Yes, it will. Yes, it most certainly will. You folks in the Pacific Northwest need to put on your thinking caps. What can I do to better protect my family? What do I need to do to better protect my family? That should be on your mind constantly. We try to tell you about these earthquakes as often as we possibly can. We can only do that when they allow us to do it. When they hide the information, we can't do anything. That's what they're doing, guys. They are hiding the information. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Earthquakes are happening here on Vancouver Island. East over here in British Columbia. Vancouver, British Columbia. Alberta. Saskatchewan. Manitoba. Ontario and Quebec. Every day. Every living day. Yet they would have us believe nothing's going on. They would tell us, oh, don't worry about it. If you don't see nothing's happening. I call BS. I will continue to call BS as long as they continue to lie. And they do a very good job of lying. Before I leave the United States, I want to go down here to the southeast. Elgin, South Carolina here. We've shown you seismograms here at Elgin, North Carolina, or South Carolina, every week. They're saying there's a 2.7 earthquake here. Guess what? It's not just a 2.7 earthquake here in Elgin, South Carolina. Elgin, South Carolina, Lugoff, South Carolina. Where's this earthquake at? It's in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, the foothills of what they call Blue Ridge Mountains, the Eastern Continental Divide. There are earthquakes here, guys, because of the Continental Divide. Yet they're not showing any other earthquakes here. Why not? Just because they don't show them doesn't mean they don't exist. They do. They exist all day long here, every day. But they don't want to show you what's going on. Why are we having earthquakes here on the East Coast? Why? Why? I'm going to tell you why here. I pulled this map out to show you the Central Atlantic Fault, the North Central Atlantic Fault. The Atlantic Fault is expanding here. It's expanding like this. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an easterly direction. It's pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction, just like this. Exactly like this. That is why we're having earthquakes here on the East Coast. That is why we're having earthquakes on the East Coast. Down here in the South Atlantic Ocean, they're showing one 5.3 earthquake. They labeled this as a 5.2. It was a 5.3. Multiple 5.3 earthquakes hit here last night. Multiple earthquakes, not just one. 3 5.3 earthquakes hit here last night. The South Atlantic Ocean Mid-Atlantic Fault is pushing South America in a westerly direction as well, and Africa in an easterly direction here. Yes, we are having earthquakes here in South America as well. But they don't like to show these either. They don't want to show you earthquakes here in South America either. They happen every day. Every day. Anywhere between 43 and 49 earthquakes here in South America every day. Okay? Central America, let's look at this. I want to show you this. Panama, Costa Rica border region. This is a 4.0 earthquake here. 4.0 moderate earthquake here. Central America. Central America here, guys. Why is this important? People over here in San Jose, Costa Rica felt this quake. 4.0 moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. Yes, there are a lot of non-coms. Okay? People that live here that don't belong in this country or don't belong in this world. They own property here from the United States and other countries. They felt this earthquake as well. 4.0 earthquake near San Jose, Costa Rica. But north of here, guess what? Another earthquake hit here in South Mexico. They're not even showing all 12 earthquakes in Central America. There are 42 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. This is just one of them. This earthquake is just one of them. This is a 5.0 large earthquake, just like what happened in India, Puerto Rico last night, except that one in India was larger. This earthquake here, guys, was a shallow quake. 26 miles deep. 26 miles deep along the coastline of southern Mexico, Oaxaca, Mexico. There are 4.2s, there are 4.3s, 4.5s, 4.6s, 4.7s, 4.8s, and 4.9 moderate earthquakes here. All over this region. All over this region. There are also 3.0 to 3.9 small quakes. All over southern Mexico. They're not showing any of them. None of them. Southeast of Mexico City, we have Popocatépetl volcano. Popocatépetl is erupting right here. Popocatépetl volcano is erupting. They're not showing that. They're not telling you that, are they? In order to find out about whether that volcano or other volcanoes are erupting, you have to go to Volcano Discovery to pull information. But I'm telling you, it is erupting. 42 earthquakes here in southern Mexico alone. Okay? Let's go here to the Pacific Islands here. Let's start up here in Tonga area, the Tonga region. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. 33 miles deep, shallow quake. Right next to it is another 5.1, large quake. 64 miles deep, another shallow quake. This is 74 miles northeast of Hiiupo, Tonga, out here in the Pacific Ocean. Nobody felt this earthquake was too far away from any landmass, too far away from any human people here on the islands. Okay? Go down here to south in Fiji. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. Okay? This happens to be 235 miles deep. Still a moderately deep earthquake, not deep. Moderately deep earthquake. Okay? Out in the Pacific, in the Fiji region, nobody felt this earthquake because it was far enough away from any islands. They got lucky. Further south here, south of the Fiji Islands, this earthquake is a 4.7. A 4.7 earthquake. 582 kilometers deep. This is a deep quake. This is a deep quake here. As a result of this earthquake here, we're going to see somewhere in the next 3 to 10 days, much larger, shallower quake is going to happen. This 4.7 earthquake here is going to birth a 5.6 to a 5.8 earthquake. It's going to propagate or birth a 5.6 to a 5.8 earthquake here in the next 3 to 10 days. It could be in Fiji, it could be in Tonga, it could be over in Samoa. Go down here to the southwest over here in New Caledonia, Legacy Islands region, where we already have earthquakes here. Down here, we already have a 5.3 shell earthquake here, 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. 5.3 earthquake, 150 miles east-southeast of Tadine, New Caledonia. Tadine, New Caledonia. It's not the only earthquake here. It's also have an aftershock here. Aftershock. A 4.8 aftershock, also a shell quake. 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep here. Okay? Up here to the north. Vanuatu. Here in Vanuatu, we have another 5.0 large earthquake. 5.0 large earthquake here. 114 miles northwest of Sola, Vanuatu. Far enough away from any islands that nobody felt this earthquake either. The ocean waters absorb the shock waves of these quakes. People got lucky here. They dodged a bullet. All of these earthquakes could have caused a lot of damage. They could have caused a lot of damage here. I want to go south here. I'm not done here. Down here in New Zealand, we've had multiple 4.0, 4.5 earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes. 3.0, 3.9 small earthquakes here. I've actually been following earthquakes here in New Zealand for a long time. We have many followers of this program here in New Zealand. That's why I follow it. I want to make sure everybody has information about what's going on. Because, of course, the USGS is not going to show us anything. Not nothing. Yes, I know for a fact. I know for a fact that there are minor earthquakes, there are small earthquakes, there are moderate earthquakes here in New Zealand. By the way, I just got notified that Governor Wallace and Mayor Frey in Minneapolis have been served subpoenas to appear before a tribunal. Governor Wallace of Minnesota and Mayor Frey of Minneapolis, Minnesota, have been subpoenaed to appear before grand juries in Minnesota to answer charges of fraud and criminal mischief in Minnesota. They've been served subpoena, guys. Those politicians are in a great deal of trouble. They are in a great deal of trouble, guys. It's now a matter of time. It's now a matter of time. Let's go over here to New Zealand here. I want to show you some of these earthquakes. Let's go down here to the South Island here. Just barely south of the South Island. We have a 3.4 small quake here. 3.4 small quake. Just barely offshore, which means nobody felt that earthquake. They got lucky. They dodged a big one. Over here in Southland National Park, this is a 2.25 minor earthquake here. Going north, over to the east side, on the Tongan Ridge Fault. On the Tongan Ridge Fault. This is a 2.63 earthquake here. 2.6 minor earthquake. over on the northern shores of the South Island, North Bank, New Zealand. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. 2.3 minor earthquake. Over in the water area, the region of water between the North and the South Island, it is called the Cook Strait. The Cook Strait. Here we have a 2.93 minor earthquake. 2.3 minor earthquake here. 2.93 earthquake. Over here to the south, 2.63 earthquake here. On the North Island. On the North Island, actually, before we go there, let's stay in the Cook Strait here. 2 more earthquakes here. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake here. Another earthquake here, a 2.2 minor earthquake here. Okay. The southern end of the North Island. This is a 2.65 earthquake here. Let's go north. Just south of a volcano. South of Rappahannock volcano. We have a 2.54 earthquake. 2.54 earthquake here. Let me pull down the New Zealand map so you can see it. Right there. This is Rappahannock volcano. 2.34 earthquake here. On the west of the side of the volcano. This is a 3.76 small quake here. Rappahannock volcano erupted about 5 years ago. Okay. South there between Rappahannock and the southern volcano, I don't remember the name of this volcano. Here's a 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake here. Okay. Let's go north. Okay. Over to the northwest side of the major volcano here. Yes, they have a major volcano here. It's called Topo volcano. See Topo Lake here? That's a volcano. Volcano sitting here. Just to the northwest side of this volcano, we have another small 3.0 earthquake here. Another small 3.0 earthquake here. North of Topo. North of Topo volcano. 2.29 earthquake there. On the Fiji Ridge. This earthquake fault here is called the Fiji Ridge. Goes right through Topo Lake, right through Topo volcano. Okay. Let's back it out here. North of that earthquake, we have another one. This is a 2.56 earthquake here. 2.56 earthquake here. Okay. East of there. This is a 2.37 earthquake here. Let's go over to the Bay of Plenty now. The Bay of Plenty. We have quite a few earthquakes here. Of course, USPS is not showing any of them. Not one of them. This is a 2.30 earthquake here. 2.30. Just to the northeast of that, we have another 2.28. Just north of that one is a 2.35 earthquake there. West of there, on the west side of the Fiji Ridge, this is a 2.29. North of this earthquake, there's another one. This is a 2.73. Minor earthquakes, all of these. Let's go over to the landmass here. This is northeastern New Zealand. This is a 2.52 earthquake. 2.52 minor earthquake. Just northwest of there. This is a 2.26 minor earthquake. Offshore of Gisborne, New Zealand. Offshore of Gisborne, New Zealand. Here it shows Taurora. Just offshore from there, we have a 2.55 and a 3.18 earthquake here. 2.55 and a 3.18 earthquake here. Now, let me go back here a little bit. Over here off the eastern shore of the North Island, they are expecting a 8.0 magnitude earthquake here within the next 20 to 25 years. They are expecting a very, very major earthquake here. 8.0 subduction quake here. Because the Pacific plate is subducting under the Indo-Australian plate here. The Indo-Australian plate here. As I said before, there are 7 different tectonic plates in this region. 2 plates right here, the Pacific and the Indo-Australian plate. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Australia. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Australia. European agencies also not showing any earthquakes here. Usually we have an earthquake in southeastern Australia and one in southwestern. They're not showing any here today. Okay. Let's go north here into Papua New Guinea. We told you about this large earthquake here in Papua New Guinea already. 6.0 earthquake. 5.9, 6.0 earthquake. 3 other earthquakes here that USGS is not talking about, and others further to the west. Interesting. 3.6s, 3.2s, 3.6, and a 4.3. 4.3 moderate earthquake here, and they're not even showing it. Why not? USGS talks about 4.3 earthquakes here all the time. They're not showing them. That is dereliction of duty. That is dereliction of duty, guys. 4.3 moderate earthquake, they're not talking about it, are they? Heaven forbid. They're only showing 1 earthquake here off the southwestern shore of Sumatra, Indonesia. 1 earthquake. This is a 4.4. That's a 4.4. Here we have a 4.3 here. Why are they not showing those earthquakes? Why are they not showing these earthquakes here, guys? Guess what? Guess what? 48 earthquakes here in Indonesia, they show 1. 48 earthquakes here in Indonesia, they show 1. That's a crying shame. That's a crying shame. We have 7 total subduction zones here, 7 different tectonic plates here. That's why we have so many earthquakes. 7 different tectonic plates, one subducting on the other, just like this. That's what's happening. Yet the United States Geological Survey is shirking its duties. Shirking its duties. Not showing what's going on. These earthquakes also affect other people. These earthquakes also affect other people. Why? Because these earthquakes in Indonesia end up affecting people in China, in Thailand, in Myanmar, Burma area, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Seismic energy moves here along the plates. Seismic energy moves along the plate boundaries, the edges of the plate, earthquake faults. When they don't show earthquakes here, that means what? The earthquakes over here in Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Burma, Myanmar area don't mean anything. The seismic energy from Indonesia feeds in this area. And as a result, we have earthquakes here. Some even major earthquakes here, like in Myanmar, Burma area, where we had a 7.4 at the beginning of last year. Yes, a 7.4 earthquake hit here in Burma last year. Now here today, we have a 2.9 and a 3.0 earthquake. 2.9 and a 3.0 earthquake here in Myanmar, Burma. Myanmar is what they call Burma, or what Burma was called. Actually, Burma was the old name. Myanmar is the new name. 7.4 earthquake hit here last year. We're still seeing aftershocks now. We are still seeing aftershocks now because look where the edge of the plate is. Went right through this region. Right through this region, guys. That's why we have earthquakes. In order to understand why we have earthquakes, we have to look at the entire picture. And when the USPS doesn't show us, guess what? We have no idea what happens. We have no idea to even look at what else is going on, what else could happen. That's why we look at earthquakes. We need to understand where the earthquake seismic energy is. Okay? Another earthquake here to the east here. Yunnan, China. 3.8 earthquake here. Just south there, we have a 2.3. This is Laos, Cambodia. 2.3 earthquake here in Laos, Cambodia. Now, I want to go over here in the Himalaya Mountains. This is important. This is very important because I'm going to talk about that earthquake that hit in Pakistan the other day, 2 days ago. Very large earthquake hit in Pakistan just 3 days ago. It came up from Indonesia, went through Southeast Asia, through Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, up into Myanmar, up into the Himalaya Mountains here. We have earthquakes here. These earthquakes here today are going to move west into Afghanistan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, where that 6.0 earthquake hit. Okay? Here in India, on the southern side of the tectonic plate, the tectonic plate is where the edge of the plate is, Himalaya Mountains. 3.4 earthquake here in India, on the southern side of the tectonic plate. Up here on the plate itself. Here we have a 2.3 minor earthquake here. Up here on the other side, to the north of the plate here, again in the Himalaya Mountains. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. This seismic energy is going to move to the west. I'm going to show you right now. Look at this. We have a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake right here, western Himalaya Mountains. Over here to the northwest of here, this is a 3.4. And north here in China, we have a 4.3 moderate earthquake here. But due west.
Cordoba, Argentina, class, light, magnitude, 4.7, 8 minutes ago.
4.7 Argentina. Interesting. USGS will not show it. They never do. Let's go over here to Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan. These earthquakes here came from Indonesia, came through Indonesia all the way up here into Thailand, Myanmar, India, through the Himalaya Mountains here. This is important. This is a 3.5 earthquake. Aftershock, that earthquake they had here three days ago. 3.5 earthquake here. To the north, going from south to north, 3.7, 3.2.
Earthquake upgraded to 4.9 from 4.7. Location, Cordoba, Argentina. Class, flight, 9 minutes ago.
Cordoba, Argentina, now upgraded to 4.9, 5.0. Interesting. Interesting. Over here in Tajikistan, that's a 4.3. Again, these earthquakes, this seismic energy moved to the northwest through the Himalaya Mountains, the edge of the plate. That's why these earthquakes are here. They moved along the edge of the plate. Over to the northwest here, again on the edge of the plate. This is Chakrak, Tajikistan. I know I butchered the name. Chakrak, Tajikistan. This is another 4.02 moderate earthquake on the edge of the plate. The edge of the plate here is moving to the west, over through Iran. Over through Iran now. Okay? Now, as I said, in the Indian Ocean, we've had two large earthquakes. Two large earthquakes. This earthquake in the Indian Ocean is on the Carlsberg Ridge. This is a 5.08. 5.08 here. Again, you don't see that on the map, do you? I guess you do. Here in the Arabian Sea here, Carlsberg Ridge, Indian Ocean here. .08 earthquake here. Down here to the southwest here, Tanzania. This is the 5.4. A 5.4, 6.2 miles deep. Shell earthquake here in Tanzania, Africa. Africa. Now, I'm taking you through this area. I'm only going to take you over to another area I want you to see over here in eastern Turkey. Eastern Turkey area right here. The Syria border region of Turkey, right here. There are 32 earthquakes here. 32 earthquakes here. USGS doesn't show one of them. Not one of them. Yes, some of these are 1.2, 1.4, 1.8, but there are also 2.0, 2.8, 3.0, and 4.5 earthquakes here. USGS not showing one of them. Why are we showing you these earthquakes? Because, guys, 3 years ago, February 3rd, 3 years ago, 2023, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake rip through here, unaliving over 5,000 people and injuring over 5,000 more. And like I said yesterday, that earthquake left a huge 14-mile-long fissure open up here. Huge 14-mile-long fissure here. Deep enough to put an 8-story building in here. Deep enough to put an 8-story building here in the fissure. That's huge. That's how strong this earthquake is, or was. Now we are still seeing aftershocks in this region. All kinds of aftershocks in this region. Yet the agency is not showing a single one of them. Not a single one of them. Look at the earthquakes happen here in Western Turkey. Western Turkey, guys, over 60 earthquakes here. Over 60 earthquakes here. Yes, there are tremors 1.0 to 1.9, 2.0 to 2.9, 3.0 to 3.9 small quakes, 4.0 to 4.6 earthquakes here as well. Moderate earthquakes. Moderate earthquakes here. USGS shows us none. Not a one. Not one single earthquake. Why not? Why not? They're not showing any earthquakes here in the Dokanese Islands, in the Aegean Sea here. Not showing earthquakes here. Over here in the Aegean Sea, these islands belong to Greece. These islands belong to Greece. Over here to the north, this is a 2.4 minor earthquake here. Just south of that island, this is a 2.0 earthquake here. These islands belong to Greece. Further south here, another 2.0 earthquakes here. Interesting. Interesting. Let's go to Crete, Greece. Crete, Greece. This island is a tourist trap, guys. All these islands that belong to Greece are tourist traps. Great places to visit. One of my dearest friends went over to these islands just a few weeks back. Just on the northeast side of Crete, we have a 2.5 earthquake here. On the south side, the southern side of Crete, this is also 2.5 minor earthquake. Okay? Yes, I'm taking my time showing you these earthquakes because it's important. Look what they're not showing us here in Greece. Look what they're not showing us here in Greece. Southwest of mainland Greece, here in the Mediterranean Sea. Here in the Mediterranean Sea, we have a 4.4 earthquake right there. 4.4 earthquake here. We also have our share of earthquakes here in Greece, a lot fewer earthquakes than we usually see here. We usually see anywhere from 18 to 20 earthquakes spread all over Greece. Today, we're only showing us 6 earthquakes. 6 earthquakes. These are all 1.0 to 1.9 tremors. 1.0 to 1.9 tremors here. Aegean Sea here, near the Gulf of Corinth, near Patras, named after the Apostle Peter. 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2, 1.1. Further north, a 1.8. Further north up here, a 2.6. Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. This is a 1.9, 2.0. Up here in Albania. Albania, 2.6 earthquake here. 2.6 earthquake. Over here in Croatia. Croatia up here. 2.2 minor earthquake there. Croatia. Let's go over to southern Italy. Sicily, matter of fact. Sicily, over near Mount Etna. 2.3 earthquake. And by the way, Mount Etna and Stromboli are erupting. Mount Etna and Stromboli are erupting here in Sicily. Fact. Right here. Mount Etna and Stromboli are erupting here. Let's go over here to the ankle of the boot here. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake there. We go north. Campania, Italy. 1.6 tremor here. On the north side of Italy here, in the ocean. Puglia, Italy. 2.7 earthquake there. 2.7. See where Puglia is here? 2.7 earthquake. Let's go over here to further north. Giglio here, central Italy. 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake. Interesting to note. They're not showing any other earthquakes here, are they, on the around Salerno, Naples area? We just happen to have a volcano here too, don't we? Yes, we do. We just happen to have a volcano right there. Mount Vesuvius. And Mount Vesuvius is steaming. Mount Vesuvius is steaming. We have an earthquake here. A 1.6 tremor here. Just northwest of Vesuvius. A 1.6 tremor here. Okay. North of there. 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 small earthquake. Then we go further into central Italy here, right up here. We continue to see swarms of earthquakes here. We continue to see swarms of earthquakes right here. Guess what? Umbria, Italy here. These are microquakes and tremors. Swarms of earthquakes, microquakes and tremors. 0.9. 0.9. 1.0. 1.2. 0.5. 0.9. Over here to the west, Toscano, Tuscan, Italy here. Tuscan, Italy, 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor in Tuscan, Italy. Then we go to the Italian Alps. We go north here in the Italian Alps here. Right up here. We have a 0.5 microquake. We have a 0.8 in the northeastern Italian Alps. We go into the Alps Mountains, Germany and Switzerland. Germany and Switzerland. They're not showing any earthquakes here. None at all. That's interesting. Liechtenstein. Here's a 1.3 tremor here. Just north there, 1.2 in Switzerland. 1.2 here near Zurich, Switzerland. Fascinating. Over here in the Southern Alps here, the Swiss Alps, 1.0, 0.6. Microquakes and tremors, 3.5, small earthquake. Swiss Alps, small earthquake. Here's another 1.8 tremor here. In the northern Swiss Alps is 0.8 microquake. Down here further south, this is over near what they call Tectonic, France. Tectonic, France. 1.4, 2.0, 2.2, and 2.2. One tremor and two minor earthquakes. One tremor and two minor earthquakes here. Fascinating, huh? Let's go over to France. Let's go further out here into France. Saone, France. Saone, France. 2.4 earthquake here. Further south, the Eurasian, France. Another 2.4 earthquake here. Minor earthquake. Further south here, 2.5 earthquake here. Minor earthquakes. Let's go over further south here.
Location, Mindanao, Philippines. Class, light, magnitude, 4.9, 8 minutes ago.
Mindanao, Philippines, a large earthquake. They're calling it a 4.9. We know those are large earthquakes. Mindanao, Philippines, the largest island in the southern Philippines. Over here near Suzy, France, 2.4. We go south here. Another 2.4 near Ladero, Real, France, 2.4. And just north of there, another 2.3. Yes, earthquakes keep happening here, guys. Earthquakes keep happening here. Doesn't matter whether USGS shows them to us or not, they happen here. Let's go over here, northern France here. Northern France right here. Normandy, guys. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake here. 2.4 minor earthquake here. Okay. Northern Spain. 1.8 tremor here in northern Spain. We go over towards Portugal, still in the Spain-Portugal border, a 2.0 minor earthquake here. 2.0 minor earthquake here in Spain. I want to show you Spain right here. This is the border region of Spain here. Okay. But over here, northern Spain, we have a 1.8 and a 2.0 earthquake here. Northern Spain. Southern Spain, 2.0 and a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0, 2.0 earthquake here, minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes here in southern Spain. Let's go over closer to Portugal here. Right here, off the coast of Spain here. Azore Islands. Strait of Gibraltar area. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. 2.1 minor earthquake here. Further here to the west. Again, this is St. Vincent, Azores. 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake here in the Azore Islands. Again, USGS doesn't show anything. Nothing. Nothing. How about down here in the Canary Islands? Rarely does USGS even show us anything, but they're showing us, the Europeans are showing us one earthquake down here. Actually, two. Now we have two here. One here near the island of Frontera. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 small earthquake here in the Canary Islands. One earthquake also near Tenerife. This is a 1.6 tremor here near Tenerife, Canary Islands. Right there. Just off the coast of Tenerife, Canary Islands. Okay? You're not going to see this on the USGS map. They don't want anybody to see it. Heaven forbid they'd have to admit seismic activity exists. They don't want to admit it. Never do. Never do. How about here, Iceland? Good old Iceland. Near this volcano. Bardabunga volcano. On the west side of the volcano here. Right here along the west side of the volcano, we have a 2.1 minor earthquake here in Iceland. Bardabunga volcano here. 2.1 minor earthquake there. We go here to the north side of the island, northwest side of the island. This near Kopasaker, Iceland. Back this out so you can see Kopasaker here. Right there. Here we have a 2.0 minor earthquake there. 2.0 minor earthquake there. USGS not showing squat. Nothing. Nothing. Less than nothing. Heaven forbid we see anything going on. I've got something else over in Canada here. Here in Canada. Right here. Amherst, Quebec. 2.4 felt earthquake. 2.4 felt earthquake. What do they mean by felt? That means this earthquake was actually larger than a 2.4. 2.4 is called a minor quake. People don't feel minor earthquakes. When they feel minor earthquakes, it's because they were large earthquakes. Larger than a 2.4 earthquake, probably a 3.0, 3.5. 3.0, 3.5 there. For the south here, I told you about these earthquakes before. Okay? This one in Elgin, South Carolina. Elgin, South Carolina. Elgin, South Carolina, right there. Further to the northwest here, Rosman, North Carolina. Rosman, North Carolina. They're not showing this earthquake. This is a 1.94 2.0 earthquake. 1.94 2.0 earthquake. This earthquake just happens to be 20 miles from me. 20 miles west of Morganton, North Carolina, where I am. No, we did not feel the ground move. We don't feel minor earthquakes. Just a 2.0 earthquake. Further east, Tennessee, eastern Tennessee here. Guess what? Earthquake. Earthquake right there. Vonore, Tennessee. What is this? Why do we have it? This is over here on the southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The Tennessee seismic zone, guys. The Tennessee seismic zone here. This happens to be a 2.0 minor earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake here. Tennessee seismic zone. Interesting. How about Illinois? How about Illinois? 3.8 earthquake near Ullman, Illinois. Ullman, Illinois here, guys. 3.8 small earthquake on the New Madrid Fault. The northern part of the New Madrid Fault here. Ullman, O-L-H-M-A-N, Ullman, Illinois. The northern part of the New Madrid Fault. Now, guys, this is a first. This is an absolute first. We have never seen the USGS admit to an earthquake in Illinois. Up until today, we've never seen USGS admit to an earthquake in Illinois on the New Madrid Fault. Yeah, the northern New Madrid Fault. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the New Madrid Fault almost exclusively. Yes, in case something happens, we will be talking about some other things, but I want to talk about what's going on here. This is not the only earthquake here in Illinois. I promise you, this is not the only earthquake here in Illinois. There are other 3.0, 3.8 earthquakes here in Illinois today. They're just choosing not to show us because they don't want to admit what's going on the New Madrid Fault here. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Because over here in Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, Missouri area, the central part of the New Madrid Fault, earthquakes galore. Earthquakes galore. Southern Illinois, also earthquakes. Indiana, they have shut down the seismograph over in Indiana. They shut down the seismograph over in Southern Indiana University. For whatever reason, they don't want to admit what's going on here. We have earthquakes. We've shown earthquakes there before. They don't want to admit what's going on here. Whenever they shut them down, that's when you know they don't want us to see it. That's what they do in California now. They shut down the seismograph or they're not reporting it. Not reporting it. They do this all the time. All the time. Does anyone have any questions about anything we've shown here today? Does anyone have any questions about anything we've shown here today? The European agency. The European agency here in California. They're showing 200 plus earthquakes here in California on the San Andreas Fault. 200 earthquakes being shown by the European agency. 200 plus earthquakes here. As I said before, it's closer to 300 earthquakes. It's closer to 300 earthquakes. Okay? The place is going crazy on the San Andreas Fault. As I said in the beginning of the broadcast, look out. Look out. The earthquake from last night did nothing to relieve any pressure here on the San Andreas Fault. Nothing. Last night's earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call, guys. Nothing more and nothing less. A wake-up call here. We are going to see a major earthquake here very soon. Very, very soon. Get prepared, guys. It's going to happen. I promise you that it is going to happen. Now, I want to talk somewhat about the weather here. The winter map, okay? You can see the weather coming out of Colorado, going in here to New Mexico, going over here into New Mexico. Guess what's going on into Oklahoma, Kansas, and northern Texas, north central Texas? What's going on? Large amount of cold weather, snow and ice, drizzle, sleet. That's what's coming. That's what's going to happen during the next few days. By Friday at the latest, the storm's going to hit. Over 200 million people are going to be impacted. Or 200 million people are going to be impacted here, guys. Fact. Winter storm impact change here. There's a chance for everybody that lives in this area. Many of you people live in this area, guys. No joke. Many of you live here in this area. That's why we're going to talk about it right now. I want to make sure you're ready for it. It's happening. It's happening now. Okay? In some areas, we're also seeing snow in higher elevations. That snow is going to drop to lower elevations in the cities and towns where all of us live. Okay? We're going to be talking about winter weather advisories here. Here are some of the key terms you need to know about. You need to understand. When the weather forecaster calls for freezing rain, rain that freezes once it hits the ground.
Southeast of Loyalty Islands. Class, moderate, magnitude, 5.1, depth, 6.2 miles, 19 minutes ago.
Another large earthquake south of Vanuatu in the Loyalty Islands, a large 5.1 earthquake. When the weather forecaster calls for freezing rain, that is because the ground is frozen. When the rain hits a frozen surface, whether it be a car or the ground, it's going to freeze. Rain freezes, creating a coating of ice on the road, coating of ice on your car, a coating of ice on your windshield. Trees and power lines. Trees and power lines. Guys, what does that mean? That only means that we're going to see freezing rain and even power outages. When the freezing rain hits these power lines, it freezes and brings down the power lines. That's what's happening here, guys. It freezes, brings down the power lines. What's going to happen here? During the next few days, you guys are going to see rain, freezing. You're going to see sleet. You're going to see snow. And some part you're going to see accumulations. Accumulation of snow. Let's talk about sleet. When the weatherman talks about sleet, rain that turns to ice pellets. Falling ice pellets. When the rain freezes to ice pellets, before it hits the ground. Sleet also causes moisture on roads to freeze and become slippery. Let's talk about wind chill, a measure of how cold people feel due to the combined effect of wind and cold temperatures. The wind chill index is based on the rate of heat loss from exposed skin. The wind chill index is based on the rate of heat loss from exposed skin, whether it be your face, your arms, or your hands. Wind chill temperatures are going to drop below freezing, below zero temperatures. Wind chill temperatures are going to drop where if you expose your skin to the cold, it will freeze within a matter of seconds. Here. Both cold temperatures of wind remove heat from the body. As wind speed increases during cold conditions, eventually the internal body temperature also falls and hypothermia can develop. Animals also feel the effects of wind chill, but inanimate objects such as vehicles and buildings do not. They will only cool down to the actual air temperature, although much faster during windy conditions. Now let's talk about the short-range weather forecast. In the northern tier of states and in southern Canada, all of you are going to see lake effect snow, downwind of the Great Lakes. Frigid Arctic air masses are returning over southern central Canada, northeastern and central United States Thursday into Friday. Lake effect snow. Freeze warnings went into effect from southern Georgia down to Florida. Freeze warnings are in effect from southern Georgia down into Florida. Multiple clipper systems from the Canadian Rockies will move through the northern plains, the Midwest, and the Great Lakes, carrying sporadic snow and snow showers and colder temperatures through this entire period, starting Thursday through next week. Very cold, frigid temperatures and snow. Okay? Behind the cold front, starting approximately Monday, a northwesterly flow from Canada will enhance the lake effect snow, which will bring more snow downwind of the Great Lakes, with localized heavier snow near the eastern and southern side of the Great Lakes, especially near Lake Ontario. An Arctic air mass continues to dominate much of the eastern continental United States, bringing bitter cold temperatures persisting through much of this period, starting Thursday night into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Freeze warnings are in effect for parts of Georgia and into northern Florida, as sub-freezing temperatures will return overnight. The Arctic cold air mass continues to spread southeastward. Expect significantly below cold temperature conditions to prevail for much of the central and eastern United States, Thursday through Friday, into the weekend. Expect temperatures between 15 to 25 degrees above 0 Fahrenheit. 15 to 25 degrees above 0 Fahrenheit. Below normal temperatures with parts of the northern plains and the upper Midwest, dropping down to below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Below 0 degrees Fahrenheit in the Midwest. Otherwise, expect near normal temperatures, slightly above normal temperatures over the western United States through Friday. Now, a cold low pressure system is going to come in, which will bring a southern stream across the northern Baja California. It's going to bring a southern stream of air across northern Baja California towards the end of the period by Sunday. with the cyclonic flow. What do we mean by cyclonic flow? Cyclonic flow is like a hurricane, or I'm sorry, not a hurricane, but a tornado. A cyclonic flow, lots of wind, with the Arctic air bringing west wintry temperatures across Texas and to the southeast. An Arctic air mass bringing widespread wintry precipitation across Texas to the southeast. As this system continues to track further north, snow chances will increase across the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast. Now, although confidence continues to trend higher for an impactful system developing, the timing, the track, and the strength of this winter storm continues to remain uncertain. Right now, they say they can't track it for certain. Therefore, you and I need to remain up to date with the latest forecast information from weather.gov. Remain up to date with the latest forecast information from weather.gov. A surface trough of air along the ground are also going to bring chances of heavy rainfall over the southern part of the United States. The Florida coast will serve to primarily be beneficial as conditions over the area transfer drier this time of year. There is a slight chance for some isolated flash flooding, but probability is too low to issue a marginal flood risk, meaning possibly up to a quarter of an inch of rain at this moment. There is that possibility of upwards of a quarter of inch of rain. Now, the confidence is increasing that significant wintry precipitation will occur over the area this weekend. Hazardous travel and power outages are going to occur. Hazardous travel and power outages are going to occur when that freezing rain, that sleet hits the power lines. The power lines are going to snap with the wind. The power lines will snap with the wind. If it doesn't be caused by the wind, the tree limbs in the way can also snap those power lines, meaning you're going to be without power. What do you need to do? Make sure, today is only Tuesday, make sure between now and Friday morning that you have batteries for your weather radios, batteries for your AM, FM radios, batteries for your flashlights, batteries for your lanterns. Make sure you have adequate batteries and battery power. Charge up your storage batteries if you have solar batteries. Charge them up with your solar panels. Make sure everything's ready to go. Now, if the power goes out, you're also going to be experiencing cold weather. Cold temperatures in your homes and your apartments. What do you need to do? Make sure you have blankets. Make sure you have heavy-duty pants, shirts, and jackets in your house. Make sure you have these things, guys. Because if the power goes out, you're not going to hit much to keep you warm, except if you have gas heat. If you have gas heat, that might be your only good thing that happens. That might be your only good thing that happens. But the power may be out. Make sure you have a way to cook outside. You may have to go outside and use your barbecue because the power inside your house is not going to work. If you have gas cooking stoves, that might be a good thing. But be careful. Be careful. This hazardous travel and precipitation this weekend could be very deadly. Could be very deadly. When we get this freezing rain and ice on the roadways, you're not going to want to travel. Stay home. Stay home. This hazardous travel and the power outages may linger into early next week, depending on how fast wintry precipitation melts. Additionally, cold wind chills may develop Monday night into Tuesday next week. And a cold weather advisory may be needed. Make sure to stay up to date with the latest weather information regarding the forecast, as this is an evolving system. This is an evolving forecast. I put great labor and a lot of time into this presentation, guys. Please pay attention. Make sure you have your weather radios. Make sure you have battery power. Make sure you have flashlights. Make sure you may want to have hand warmers and feet warmers and body warmers available to keep warm. Yeah, otherwise, it's going to be a very cold weekend into sometime by the first and middle of next week. That's how long this cold spell is going to last. That is how this cold spell is going to last. Up to maybe a week or longer. Up to maybe a week or longer. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Now, guys, I had a presentation I was going to give you about what happened with the sun. I don't know whether anybody would be interested in having that now, but I wanted to give you that information if you wanted it. Okay? Again, we had a good solar flare. We had a good sized solar flare, guys. It was an X.198 flare. It caused solar wind that's still going millions of miles an hour right now, traveling from the sun out into space, crossing Earth's space. We're seeing that solar wind even happening now. And as a result, we're seeing G4 geomagnetic storms hitting the Earth right now. That's going to be ongoing probably through the weekend. Probably through the weekend. Now, I don't have any more information about additional solar flares, but they can happen. And I will give you that information as soon as I can get it. Probably before midnight last night, we were up to G4, G5 geomagnetic storm. That's pretty powerful for an X1.98 flare. That is the bottom side of the dangerous flares. The dangerous flares go up to 1.99, which we saw one time last year. We saw X 9.9 last year. Okay? It still can happen. It still can happen. The sun is still very powerful. The sun is still very powerful, guys. Look where this solar flare went out of. There's a huge sunspot there. A huge sunspot that was about 500 times the size of the Earth. Huge sunspot. This was the eruption that happened yesterday afternoon. The next 1.98 flare. Also, on the north side of that flare and on the southeast or southwest side of the flare, what do you see? Halo, where the plasma radiation is falling back towards the sun. The plasma radiation is radiating out from the sun and falling back towards the sun like this. It's called a solar halo eruption. That's what happened here. We still are seeing proton radiation from the sun happening now here on this Earth. It's all part of the solar eruption from the sun yesterday afternoon. Still happening. I'm not going to go further into that because then we'll be here probably another half hour or so. I don't want to do that. But we're still seeing the effects of the solar radiation from last night's eruption. It's ongoing. Demon Cabin says you can send Ron your questions and suggestions to our email address, rltnspdema@gmail.com. rltnspdema@gmail.com. Also, our address is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Our address here is 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. We'd still love to see letters and cards from you. You can even send us donations inside the letter or card. Just write your letter out, wrap your donation inside the letter, and send it to us. You can do the same thing if you send us a card. Write up your card. We'd love to hear from you. How are you preparing for emergencies? Put all that down. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear greetings from you as well. We love you guys. But inside the card, you can also stick a donation mailed to us. It happens all the time. Unfortunately, not enough anymore. We still love to hear from you. You see our 2 PayPal addresses scrolling across the bottom of your screen as well. You can send us a donation to our PayPal. We'd appreciate that as well. Yesterday, we saw some super chats. We haven't had a super chat today. You can send us donations through our super chats as well. Appreciate it, guys. We love you. We really do. We appreciate everything you do for us. Also, one of the other things you can do, after our program is over, you have a comments section just below this video. You can leave us comments or even questions. I'll answer them for you. I always do. Also, before you leave tonight, give us a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate that as well. I've seen several people give us hearts here during our presentation today. We appreciate the hearts as well. That means you love me. Love what we're doing here. I love you very much. Now, guys, before I leave you tonight, I want to tell you this. Again, I'm going to the scriptures for this small devotional, coming from 1 Thessalonians in the New Testament. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, God, your Holy Spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. The Lord Jesus Christ is en route to us again. The second coming of Jesus Christ is nigh. Very soon, guys. Very, very soon. Get prepared. Get yourself right with God. I see a message from Linda Covington in her chat talking about internet possible outage as well. Yes. Anytime you have an power outage, there is a very good possibility that you will lose internet as well. Okay? That happens. That happens. Be prepared for it. Be prepared for it, guys. Do we have any questions, guys? Any further questions? Caroline sent her love. She was up here with me until about a half hour ago. She went back downstairs to fix dinner for the dogs and fix dinner for me. Guys, I love you. I care a great deal about you and your families. I've talked a great deal about things that are going to happen. Be prepared, guys. Be prepared. Do what you can to protect you and your families. That's all I can say. Get prepared. Tomorrow night we'll talk about the new manifold and what's going on. Unless, of course, they block us from seeing that as well. May God bless you. May God bless you this day that you will have everything you need. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good day, guys. We love you and appreciate you. Take care. God bless. See you soon. Good night. See ya. Bye-bye. Love you.
Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared, that's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.